On this episode of What's Going On in the Workshop, we've got rust, done rust, and under seal, but found some rust, and ready to go to paint. Roy's ramp. Let's go and have a chat to Roy and see what's been going on today. You all right, Roy?
Not too bad.
I need to come in closer to you as you're not going to hear me. There we go. Here's your torch.
Thanks.
All right, so no need to introduce Roy. You've met him the other week. So, right, so we're gonna change the format in the way that we do these now. We're going to have me chatting, and we're also going to have a chat with the guys when they're actually carrying out the work, because I think that works better, because everyone that's watching this channel would maybe like to speak to the people that are actually carrying out the works as well as when I'm talking about other cars. So, do you want to tell us what's been going on with this, Roy?
Basically, this one came in for sills, arches on this side, and also sill end plate. Pretty much as was said, as described, apart from the additional rear box section, which unfortunately had rotted out, so we're having to remanufacture that. At this point, we've had new seal end plate welded in, new section of inner seal welded in, and the inner arch has been cleaned up, primed, and pretty much ready for the outer panel to be cut shape and welded in.
Yeah, you're nearly done. So
Nearly
what you do now? You're just doing the panel for your jacking point now, are you?
Basically just fabricating the rear panel for the jacking point on the back end. Once that's done, outer panel should be done in the next day or two.
Cool. Anything happening on the other side?
No, apart from the near side front wing, new wing, going to paint. Other than that,
Flying for it?
yeah, flying for it.
All right, cool.
So yeah, not too bad.
All good.
Not too bad.
Good job. Cheers, Roy.
All right.
So, the Lagoona Blue is Lagoona Blue, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. So this one's come in. Ashlee's working on this one. Do you want to have a run through, Ashlee, with how it's been? You've only just started working on this one as well, haven't you? So it's very, very new on the ramp.
At the moment, it's just investigation for rust works. It's coming for seals and arches, and at the moment we're just starting to chop it out and see how far the rust goes.
So you've already chopped the inner seal out here, haven't you?
Yeah,
And the outer.
The bottom part of it was already gone, so there's no point messing around with that. Just get that chopped out.
You found a bit of rust there, Ash, didn't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of rust on this one. It's sort of going to looking to be. It's going to be full end plates, full inner arches, and inner seals as well.
Is that what it's just in for? Is it just arches and seals?
It's also in for new front wings and front seals, seal welding as well.
What's up with the front wings?
They've all rusted out at the bottom. Usual rust spot there.
Okay. Let's go and have a look let's have a quick look for the camera. I'm sure the people at home would like to see what's going on. Gareth's taking a detour. Right, let's come out here. Okay. So yeah, as you can see underneath, front wings have rotted out. Do we know what it's like behind there yet, or is it just going to take these off and have a look? See.
We'll take the wings off and have a look.
I think there might be some holes. Might not be too bad, but I think there definitely might be something there. All right, so that's it then. Cool. Right, where are we going now? You want to go here?
Well, yeah, because Ashley picked that one. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you want to talk about this one then, Ash?
Then you can relax off that.
All right. So this one's been, I think, This one I think has been on the past. Is it 2 updates, or was it? I know it's definitely on the last one. This one had the chassis rail repair panels put on the external. Well, it was just put on top of the chassis rail. So Ashlee has now carried the work out. Which, are you able to see anything in there? Do you want to just tell us how it went, Ash, and what issues you came across?
It was obviously a lot trickier because the panels had already been welded on the top, so it was a case of, it wasn't just a case of we could chop out our normal area, because the facts where the panel, a same size panel, had already been welded on top, so it's sort of having to remove all the old panel.
I saw when you were grinding it back, you had, because where it had been welded in, it was a bit of a pain because you had to grind that back, because if you cut the other side of that weld, it meant that the
panel was
going to be too big, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was a lot of when we removed the panel, it turns out that only what had been cut out was only just enough to clear the back of the captive nuts. There was still a lot of the old rusty chassis rail still just left behind there, rusting away. The panels had already started to rust quite badly on the inside as well, where they just hadn't.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. So, because it had the outer panels on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, what was the inside panels like? Were they far gone, or?
They were pretty far gone. They were all blown out and cracked. And
Yeah, which is why when you do this job, you need to do the inners and outers with it, because it just, everything's off at that point. It makes no sense not to do it, even if there's a very minimal amount of rust there, because it has started rusting. Cool. You were doing some other little bits and pieces on this morning, weren't we? So, well, before we do that, you can see that there's no door and wing. So what was the reason for doing the door?
the door had a rust hole at the bottom of it, and it had gone through both skins, so it wasn't really worth repairing.
Gone past that point of repair.
Yeah.
You take the time you've taken the door skin off, repaired it. It's just as cheap to get another door.
The inner skin was right. It had started from the inner skin, so it was both layers had gone, so it wasn't really worth doing. And the front wing had got a large dent in it, as it's getting so much paint work done, and at the same time it's worth getting it so it's all fresh paint.
Yeah. All right. So new door, new wing, and then you're doing some touch-up bits in the engine bay, weren't you?
Yep, just tidying up some of the little rust spots that are under the bonnet.
If you come and have a look, was it over here?
Yes.
Yeah, so the customer just wanted a few little bits addressed in the engine bay, just a little small bits of surface rust which we've cleaned up, put some paint around, and also in the area where the wiper arms are, just down here. There was just some surface rust in there, was there? Yeah, so I think that's done, isn't it? Have you done the extra coat that you were going to do?
Yep, that's all done now. It's just waiting for panels.
All right, that's the update on this one. Cheers, Ash. Now we've got, it's done. It's finally done. This car, I think, has probably been on the most consecutive workshop, what's going on in the workshops, because it's been on the ramp for so long. I think I've been working on this car all year. As it was put to me this morning by Gareth, who thought it was very funny. So we're now all welded up, it's undersealed. I'll just grab my torch so we can just see the finished result, really. You just want to have a scan underneath and come and have a look at it's basically the rear where everything is the complete difference. Whereas before it was all rusty, it's all now, all the new metalwork has all been treated with a zinc primer, it's all been panel sealed, and we've undersealed the underneath of the car now. The cavity wax has also been put in the seal areas, all the full length. We've got a little bit more cavity waxing to do, but we'll finish that off once it comes back from the paint shop. The car is now going to be, wheels are going to be put back on, and then it will go to the paint shop, and it's going to have both sides of the car painted. So both front wings, both doors, and both rear quarters will be painted with new paint. It'll look really good. And then I will, as much as I've enjoyed working on this car, I'm glad to see it leave my ramp. Yeah. So now we're on to Jim's one. Where's Jim? You trying to avoid the video, Jim? Right, so Jim's brought this one in today, and we've just basically, well, you started doing an underseal this morning, haven't you? But there's a couple of little issues on it that we've come across when we were doing a clean up on it, really, and a few other things that sprung to light. So should we have a quick look? If we go up a bit. So do you want to just tell us what happened when you were doing the clean up process? What you came across?
Sure.
So when you started cleaning up, so when we do an underseal, we grab a wire brush and we start cleaning up the underneath. But Jim came across an area on the driver's side seal area that has been previously patched. So as you can see here,
mean, on the face of it, it looked fine, but as soon as I started just to take back the loose undersill, you suddenly see all these holes.
It's opened up a bit like Swiss cheese, isn't it? Doesn't look as edible though as Swiss cheese. No. So basically, we've spoke to the customer. We're waiting just for some outcome on this. This is sometimes what we come across when we do undersills on MX5, which do have some rust issues. I mean, as you can, this one is in a little bit of TLC, and what happens is when we do a clean up, we uncover some holes, and it happens occasionally. So we're just waiting for the customer to let us know how he wants to proceed. So we're doing an undersill. There was a broken spring on this as well, wasn't there? Yep. So we got that still. Yep. So I think it was the driver's side front. We noticed that there was a broken spring on there. Or did it come in to be replaced, or did we notice this? Oh, it was noticed. So I think that was at the top, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we noticed that the spring was broke. Got back to the customer once it changed. And you were doing something with the
Brake line.
Okay.
That was all corroded.
Oh, was it all corroded?
It was nasty.
Oh, was it?
Just fell apart in the hands.
Was it in for that, or was that something else that would?
We found it.
Yeah. So when we're doing an undersill, because we're underneath the car anyway, and we're cleaning up, our eyes generally sort of do glance over, because we're also looking for areas that are possibly very rusty. In order, if they are very rusty, we try and be careful around those areas, but at the same time try and get as much info of what's wrong with the car as possible to get back to let the customer know how, in what way to proceed. This one is just a little bit on the rusty side, but as again the customer's going to call back, he may opt for us to completely chop that out and repair it, or it may be something that will be booked back in at a later date to be repaired. Okay, I think that's it, isn't it? Is there anything else on there? No. Okay, all right, so that's what's been going on in the workshop. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. We're trying to grow this channel at the moment, and we're trying to get as many views as possible. So share the videos, tell everyone about us. We'll see you soon. So no, not ready. I'm not. It's not flowing today. I'm feeling a bit nervous for some reason. Okay, right then.